All right. What is up, everybody? It is me, Alan. Yeah, what's up, everybody? It's me, Alan. I am back and not with a video, but with ever, my first ever live stream on this YouTube channel. I am so goddamn excited for this. This is this is just bro, this is awesome. I'm happy to be here. So yeah, if you're here, somebody's watching. So if you're here, let me know in the chat. Um, but yeah, so wow. So I got home from work, got in, put some stuff away, got myself comfortable. I came in around the eighth or ninth pick, caught up on what happened earlier, and then watched the rest from there. Um, if you were watching the Dumpster Fire stream, I was in the chat there. Um, Load of fun. Oh my god, that was a load of fun to watch that stream. To watch that stream, we're gonna talk all about that, and primarily what happened with the draft, of course. So let's go ahead. Let's just jump right into it. I mean, but first of all, I mean, holy shit, bro! My first ever live stream. Like this feels awesome. I know I'm probably not going to get a lot of people in here, and it is what it is, but I'm happy. I'm here. That's what matters. And yeah, so let's just go ahead and let's just jump right into it. So, the beginning of the draft, obviously, I mean, there's not much to really speak about here. It was pretty much the obvious that was going to happen. Um, Trevor Lawrence goes number one to the Jaguars, obviously. I mean, as far as Jacksonville goes, they got their guy. They didn't fuck it up. And we got to see what happens here. I mean, but we'll see. We'll see. They ended up, uh, courtesy of the Rams pick they got from the Jalen Ramsey trade, they ended up getting Travis Etienne at 25, which makes really not a lot of sense to me because you have James Robinson and you signed Carlos Hyde. So, and then you decide to reunite Trevor Lawrence with his teammate. Really? That's kind of sus. I'm not even gonna lie. But hey, it is what it is. Jacksonville, we'll see what happens. They're not a playoff team right now, but they're still rebuild mode. So we got to see what happens going forward. Um, but yeah, so then you got the Jets at number two. They ended up taking Zach Wilson. No surprise here. This is the pick that this was the outside of Lawrence. This was the other pick that was expected to happen. Um, and then they ended up trading up later on. We'll get to that in a little bit. But they made the Jets, they're looking all right now. I will thoroughly admit that they're looking pretty all right, and that this is coming from a fan of a rival here. So Jets, I think you guys had a pretty good first round, and yeah, so we'll go ahead and we'll just have to see what happens with them from here on out. So then we got the 49ers at three. They ended up taking Trey Lance instead of Mac Jones. I just I'm not a fan of them taking a quarterback here simply because of the fact that you have Jimmy Garoppolo already. And hey, Ricky's in the chat. Good to see you, Ricky. Good to see you, man. Um, yeah, bro. Like I said earlier, this is my first live stream, so I got 3 people in here right now. Um, good, glad to see that. And yeah, so already got a like. That's awesome. I'm not expecting a ton with this, but I'm hoping. I just hope this goes well. So again, Lawrence 1, Wilson 2, and then Trey Lance at 3. Um, oh yeah, they got it up on ESPN. So I heard about this after I got home. Aaron Rodgers wants out of Green Bay. That is huge. And um, as far as my early thoughts on the matter, and we'll talk more about it, or I'll talk more about it when I get to their first round pick. But I'm not surprised that Rodgers wants out of Green Bay. I kind of I figured one way or the other this was going to happen. I think he's had enough at this point. I really think he's had enough of the bullshit there. But anyway, so back to the 49ers. It still surprises me that they'd want to move up and grab a quarterback. They end up taking Lance. Um, I I'm glad they didn't take Mac Jones, because if they took Mac Jones at 3, I guarantee you it was going to look like a freaking Trubisky situation, in my personal opinion. But they didn't take him. They took Lance, which I think is the better option. Although, even if I wanted to take a quarterback, I probably would have taken Fields here. Um, so yeah. And then Atlanta. This was a team that was rumored, once again, same with last year. Early on, there were rumors, and then teams didn't move. In this case, the Falcons were rumored to move down, or want to move down, and then it came out that it seemed like, the head coach, GM, whatever, they came together on what they wanted to do. They ended up taking Kyle Pitts. Doesn't surprise me. I figured this was what they were going to do. The thing for me is that I just they need defense. That, like, there's only so much you can do with that offense, and there's a possibility that Julio Jones gets traded later this offseason. So uh I don't know. Atlanta, I just I don't know. I don't know at this point. But hey, we'll see. And then we get to the 5th pick. And when I saw this come up on the screen, I knew that I had to go live tonight. I knew I had to go live. And I knew, again, I ranted about them in my final mock draft. I ranted. It All right. I ranted, and they still did it. They took Jamar Chase to reunite him with his former quarterback, Joe Burrow. All right. You did this before, so now it's time we fucking had a discussion. What the fuck are you doing, Cincinnati? What the hell? I said this before, and I will say it the fuck again, and I will continue to say it now that you have made this pick. Joe Burrow is about to become Andrew Luck 2.0. He has no fucking offensive line. Riley Rice, he's in his mid-30s. He's old as fuck. He's going to retire soon. Jonah Williams, dude's probably good, but he's been injured. He's had injury issues. Bruh. Sewell was right there. He was right there. The top 3 were going to be quarterbacks. Falcons were either going to move down or take Pitts. You had Sewell, and you fucked it up. You fucking bungled again. I'm not even a Bengals fan, and I'm pissed off. Like, don't get me wrong. I like Jamar Chase. And if the Bengals had an offensive line, I would be happy with this pick. I would be praising this pick. They need yes, they do need wide receivers. AJ Green's gone. John Ross didn't work out. Bro, You fucked it up. You fucked it up. How? Bro, this is fucking ridiculous, man. I feel bad. If you're a Bengals fan, you're probably happy that you have Ja'Marr Chase. Like, oh, we're gonna get offensive linemen later on. Are you though? Is that what Cincinnati's gonna do? Do you think that's what Cincinnati's gonna do? I mean, if I know the way the first round went, they're probably gonna go defense early in the second round to replace, Carlos Dunlap. Maybe even get a guy to replace Geno Atkins down the line if he's still there. I mean, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? Cincinnati, guys, you're going to be back in the same position next year. And if there's a top offensive lineman, bro, you're going to be regretting this. You really are. Because Burrow's going to get hurt again next year, most likely. He's at least going to be running for his life. He's not fucking Russell Wilson, who can do that on a fucking game to game, daily basis and shit. Other person I know from Twitter in the chat. Good to see you there. Like I said, like I said it before, I know I'm not going to get a ton of views on this, but I'll be glad that. But for anybody that's in here, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 400 subs. And make sure to share this stream, spread it out there. Let the people know. I'd love to see people come in and join and watch. I'd really appreciate that. But anyway, as I was saying, yet again, Cincinnati, I'm sorry, but go fuck yourselves. You passed on Sewell for legitimately no reason, and Joe Burrow is going to be fucked. He really is. I'm sorry, but he is. Nothing against Ja'Marr, but you need Sewell. You desperately needed him, and you passed on him. You're gonna be fucking kicking yourselves for that one. I guarantee you. And if Flemlo Raps ever comes across this stream, bro, I'm sorry for you, man. I really am. I really, really am. Miami at 6, finally moving off. Miami at 6, they grabbed the next wide receiver. They end up taking Jalen Waddle out of Alabama. Hey, reuniting him with Tua, that's pretty. This draft seems like we got a lot of guys getting reunited with each other. ETN with Lawrence in Jacksonville, Chase with Burrow in Cincinnati, Waddle with Tua in Miami. I'll be interested to see how that all works out and whatnot. But definitely a great, great, great pick there. And yeah. And then we get to number 7. Now, honestly, though, I kind of thought maybe Miami would go Sewell if he didn't go to Cincinnati. Well, guess who did get him? Detroit did. Detroit, after making the trade, sending Stafford to the Rams for Goff and picks from them, they ended up grabbing Penny Sewell. Yeah. So instead of going to Cincinnati, he ends up, the whole take him to Detroit meme. Well, Sewell's going to go there. And, honestly, for Detroit, I feel good about this. Hell, I would have liked to have seen, hey, they didn't have to trade up to get him. But, they could have with Atlanta, and then both teams still would have got what they wanted. But either way, I'm happy for them. I'm happy for Detroit. The Bengals' failures is the Lions' gain, and them getting Sewell is fucking huge for them. And even if Goff is not the long-term solution, or he's obviously not, he's gonna play out his contract, and then they're gonna let him go most likely, and they'll probably move on from him. Maybe draft a quarterback later this draft or in the future. But I will say this: getting Sewell for whoever the long-term solution is at quarterback for you guys, that is a step in the right direction. Huge, huge move. Congratulations to you. So now we get to the 8th pick. We get to Carolina. There were rumors they wanted to move down, rumors that New England was looking to trade up with them, and that did not happen. And the Panthers would go with Jaycee Horn out of South Carolina. Honestly, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised that he went this high. I kind of thought he was definitely going to go first round. I didn't think he would go extremely high, especially going right before Patrick Surtain. Obviously, we know the deal with Caleb Farley, and we'll get to him later on. But yeah, I'm a little surprised that Horn would go at 8. But as far as the pick goes, hey, got another person here in the chat. One second. Wanted to say hi to somebody in the chat here. But anyway, as I was saying, so Jaycee Horn goes to Carolina. I'm indifferent about it. I don't think it's a bad pick, but I'm a little surprised that he went above the likes of Surtain, especially with the offensive linemen of course, outside of Sewell that were projected to go around here. And I do think that they probably should have taken an offensive lineman, probably a tackle, now that they have Darnold. But we'll see what happens with them. I'm interested to see what happens with Carolina going forward. And speaking of Patrick Surtain, he would end up going to Denver to Brandon Perna's Broncos. Uh, now it's for now. I had Micah Parsons going here, and to be quite honest, um, I, I feel like they needed a linebacker, but now they have a loaded cornerback group or defensive back room, and that's huge when you're in a division with Patrick fucking Mahomes. Granted, who knows how much Mahomes is going to do next year, considering they got rid of their 2 starting tackles. But then again, they just traded for Orlando Brown Jr., so I guess it's all right. But anyway, so yeah, Patrick Surtain second going to Denver. That's a I don't know. I don't necessarily think that fills a big need, but it is a big pickup in an AFC West where you have to deal with Mahomes and Justin Herbert and Derek Carr. So if they can get the quarterback situation figured out, remember they just traded for Teddy Bridgewater. They already have Drew Lock. We'll have to see what happens. I'm interested to see what happens with Denver going forward. Um, and then we go to 10, and this is where we got the first trade of the draft during the draft. And I gotta say, this was interesting. Let me look up real quick to see. Wait a minute. Actually, hold on. I'm just pulling up the trades real quick. Let me go to the wiki page, see if that's been updated. Probably should be by this point. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. Okay. So Dallas. So Philly ended up moving up with Dallas, which trading with a division rival is pretty surprising. They ended up what ended up happening was Dallas traded their first round pick to Philly, for Philly's first rounder. and the 84th, and then their third rounder as well at 84th overall. Of course, Philly had moved down. Of course, you have the trade with Miami and whatnot after the Dolphins traded with San Francisco. So Philly ends up moving up 2 spots, and they decide to grab Devonte Smith. I gotta say, I feel good about this pick. Um, I honestly like wide receiver was definitely a need for them, and I wasn't buying the people that were saying that they should draft a quarterback here when they already have Jalen Hurts. They just traded Carson Wentz to the Colts this offseason. So, to be quite honest, I think that this was the right move to make. And I'm excited to see what Smith will do in Philly, and hopefully he doesn't get hands of stone over there. And yeah, but yeah, great pick for Philly, I gotta say. And then we get another trade, and Chicago moving up to 11 with um, or they ended up moving up to 11 with the Giants. I'm not seeing the trade on the wiki page. Do, 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 do. Well, okay. Well, it's probably all getting updated and shit. So, um, give me 1 second. I gotta find it. Uh, give me 1 sec here. Fuck. Actually, no, let me refresh the page real quick just to see. Probably still hasn't come up yet, but yeah, it has not come up yet. Okay, so they're probably updated now. Let me go over to the Draft Network, see if they've already got it up. Or no, this isn't. Before. Um, I'm just trying to find the trades at the current moment. Um, so give me 1 second here. But anyway, yeah. So the Bears ended up moving up with the Giants to grab Justin Fields, and when I saw this, I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" Because I, I really wanted him to go to New England. Um, that was really what I wanted to see happen. Um, but not the case, of course. Uh, just it is what it is. Honestly, it really is. Um, actually, football reference. Yeah, I think they have it. Again, my apologies. I'm trying to find all the trades that happened um during this year's draft and shit. Oh, they don't even have the 2021 draft up yet. All right. Well, anyway, it'll probably come up later on. But either way, again, well, actually, the trade that happened um for the Bears, it's actually kind of funny. Um, oh, here we go. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, come on, where is it? God damn it. What the hell is it? Ah, doesn't say what the damn trade was. Well, anyway, again, like I said, they'll come up later on, but again, far as the trade goes, it at first looked like the Bears, you know, or the Bears kind of got fleeced just to move up to get Fields. And the reason why I say that is based on what they gave up, which was basically their pick in this draft, obviously, a fifth, their first next year, and a fourth. And a lot. If you were watching the dumpster fire stream, it was like, what the fuck are they doing? And then they, of course, took Fields. And it's funny because they signed Mike Glennon and then drafted Mitch Trubisky, moving up to get him. Albeit they moved up one spot. Then this year they signed Andy Dalton, and then they trade up to grab Justin Fields. Again, I wanted him to go to New England, but it is what it is, and we'll just have to see how Fields does in Chicago. Obviously, Chicago hasn't had a great track record with quarterbacks. Ohio State hasn't had a great track record with quarterbacks that have made the NFL. So, again, we'll just have to see what happens. But I wish him all the best in Chicago, man. I do. So Dallas, they move down from 10 to 12 with the Eagles. Eagles move up to grab Devontae Smith, of course. And the Cowboys end up getting their Sean Lee replacement because he just retired this week. They get their Sean Lee replacement in Micah Parsons. I had him going to Denver. But hey, him going to Dallas, it adds to that defense. And if that defense can get its shit together, there's a very real possibility, again, if Dak also recovers well from his injury, that Cowboys team should very well be winning the NFC East next year. There's no excuse in the world that the Cowboys have to not win the NFC East this coming season. Um so yeah. Then we get the Chargers at 13. I kind of hoped they moved up to grab Sewell, reunite him with Justin Herbert, but they didn't. They end up going with Rashawn Slater. Still a great pick. Getting protection for Herbert, which is a big deal. Something that the fucking Bengals didn't do. Fucking idiots. I'm gonna roast them for that pick. Nothing against Chase, but no matter what happens, unless Sewell completely flops in Detroit and for his career, which I hope he doesn't. I really hope he doesn't. But either way, yeah. So again, Slater to the Chargers, great pick, and got to get that support, got to get that offensive line help for Herbert. I really like that move, and yeah, we'll just have to see what happens from there. And then, as I mentioned before, the Jets traded up to 14. I believe this was Minnesota's pick. And they would take Elijah Vera Tucker in this spot. Of course, they had a second first rounder courtesy of the trade courtesy of the trade of Jamal Adams to the Seahawks. And so that helped them to make this to make this trade along with everything else they gave in relation. Do 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 do. again, I apologize. I'm trying to find just the trades and stuff, but because they're not really up at the moment. Um, but anyway, but again, like I said, that if you watch and you saw, obviously, um, y'all, you get the picture there. So, with all that being said, again, back to what happened. Grabbing Elijah Vera Tucker. Hey, I like the move for the Jets. It gets offensive line support for their quarterback, which is what they need. Unfortunately, they never really had that with Darnold, but then again, Adam Gase kind of ruined him. So yeah, best of luck to him in Carolina, and best of luck to Vera Tucker with the Jets. And then come the Patriots at 15. At first, going into this draft, I figured they'd probably move down, especially with a team like Chicago, maybe Washington, wanting to move up for a quarterback if they wanted to. I thought, and then more recently, I thought they'd move up for Justin Fields. They end up staying pat at 15, and they would take Mac Jones out of Alabama. I'm not mad about it. Honestly, I want to see how he ends out in New England. To be quite honest with you, I really want to see how he does here. However, again, I would have liked it if they had moved up to grab Fields, but then again, I don't think we would have expected Chicago to move up that high um, to grab him. But either way, again, it is what it is, and I don't have anything wrong with it. We brought Cam Newton back. We've made some other solid moves, both on offense and defense. And I'm just really interested to see what happens going forward with this team. Um, but with that being said, again, Patriots got Mac Jones. Again, we'll see. And then we got a couple of picks that were reaches. Zaven Collins going to Arizona. I said in my mock drafts, I wanted Arizona to move down because they don't really have much draft capital this year. Excuse me. They have a first and a second, and then they don't have another pick until the fourth or fifth round. So I did want them to move down, and I think after the pick they made, I think they probably should have moved down because they could have moved down and still drafted this guy. They end up getting Zaven Collins out of Tulsa. Nothing wrong. Again, nothing wrong against Collins, but I just feel like Arizona should have moved down to grab some more help or to grab some more picks, and they probably still could have gotten Collins either way. And then the Raiders, yet again, they make a pick off the beaten path a little bit. They end up taking Alex Leatherwood out of Alabama at offensive tackle. And keep in mind, Christian Darrisaw was still on the board. Um, so yeah, I don't know how to feel about this one. It's they do need the offensive line help, but Leatherwood, when he probably could have gone to you in the second, maybe even the third. Raiders. I don't know, man. If the Raiders do not show improvement this year, it might be time to figure something out. Gruden's not working out. Hell, I'd argue Mike Mayock as a GM really isn't working out. And I hate to say that because of the fact that, I like Mayock as an analyst, but as a he's one of the best analysts out there. But as a GM, I don't know, man. I don't know. But either way, Alex Leatherwood, sorry. Alex Leatherwood to the Raiders. And then Miami using the other pick, using their own pick that they had. By the way, 3 people watching right now, 4 likes. I appreciate it. If you're new here, please subscribe. We're almost at 400 subs. Um, and if you're here, share the stream around. Share it to your friends. Let them know. Hopefully, people come more. Some more people come in and watch. I would I'd really appreciate that as well. Um, but yeah, so Jalen Phillips will go to Miami. Again, I was perplexed as to why they let go of Kyle Van Noy. I mean, even for cap reasons, you just signed him last year and he was really good for you. But Jalen Phillips, homegrown, he's from the University of Miami. Not going to really go as far as distance wise, that is. Um, should definitely do well for them. And Miami's building something down there with the Patriots. Last season allowed Miami, to really show up, and they've thanks to Houston with the Tunsil trade, they have absolutely gotten way ahead of the rebuild. Now, the real question is, will things work out with Tua? And um, how will this next season go? Will last season be looked at as a fluke, especially with the rise of the Bills and the possible resurgence of the Patriots, or will Miami be able to hold on with the rest of the division? Anywho, then we got another reach of a pick, and that was Jamin Davis from Kentucky going to Washington. I don't know how to feel about this one. I never really looked at this guy. I did not have him going in the first round. This is a pretty surprising pick to me personally. And chat here. But again, as far as I'm concerned, Jamin Davis, don't know how I feel about that one. It definitely feels like a reach to me. Um, but hey, we'll see what happens. Um, and then we got the moment we were all waiting for. If you're watching the Dumpster Fire stream, and that was to see what would the Giants do. They traded down. There was definitely some guys that were here. Guys like Kwity Paye, Christian Darrisaw, uh, Greg Newsome, and obviously some guys that are not even on the board or weren't even taken in the first round. Um, but yeah, so what would they do? Well, in true Giants fashion, they drafted Kadarius Toney out of Florida. And nothing against Toney. I just I'm not. I think he was a borderline first rounder, but he's not the guy that the Giants needed. And uh, I mean, bro, especially after they drafted or they signed Kenny Golladay, they still have Sterling Shepard. They still have Evans, Stonehands, Ingram, and then you drafted a wide receiver, which you absolutely did not need. And if you were watching the Dumpster Fire stream, oh my god, the reaction. I mean, Tree was laughing his fucking ass off. 5 points was beyond pissed. Oh my god. Go back and rewatch the stream. Oh my god, bro. Just that was fucking hilarious. It really was. It really absolutely was to say the absolute least. Yeah, it really was. But anyway, so just Giants, what are you doing? You fleeced Chicago and then you fleeced yourselves. Just how? Just how? Just it just it just really makes sense to me. It really doesn't. So then we get Indiana, Indianapolis at 21, and they ended up going on defense, and they ended up grabbing Quiddy Pay out of Michigan. And you know, I think it's a solid pick. Obviously, they could have gone offensive line again with guys like Darisaw or Tevin Jenkins, but you know, my apologies. Um, I just I, I, I don't know how to feel about it, to be quite honest with you. But I will say this though, um, just a great pick by the Colts. My apologies. I'm trying to edit some things here real quick on the fly. Again, this is my first live stream, so I'm learning here. Um, but yeah, so again, great pick for the Colts. Stupid pick for the Giants. And nothing against Tony, but just it wasn't what they needed. And then we get Tennessee at 22, and they ended up grabbing Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech. Farley was a guy that should have gone in the top 10, but he had surgery back in March. He actually, this was terrible. He tested positive for COVID, then tested negative, and then got two positive tests, so he couldn't even celebrate the draft with his family. He had to be in his room by himself, which sucks, especially when it because comes to the draft. And he ended up falling in the first round, but he would stay in the first round and go to Tennessee, which honestly I think is I think that's a pretty solid move, and I think that if he's able to heal from his injuries, um, there's a very real possibility that he could be still be a great cornerback, and definitely a steal of the draft. Um, just all things considered, and a great pickup for Tennessee overall. So all that editing's out of the way a little bit here, and we get back to the picks. So then we got Najee Harris, or sorry, my apologies. One pick before that, Christian Darrisaw going to Minnesota. This was an obvious pick, and no surprise whatsoever that he would end up going there. Honestly, the fact that he fell this far, and again, Minnesota had moved down, and they still ended up getting him when they could have got him with their own pick. So Minnesota, I think they did a great job here. I actually kind of figured they would move down because of the fact that um oh, I think it's a good thing that they moved down. Or yeah, they oh my I think am I tripping here? No, Oh yeah, they did move it. Oh my god, my apologies. I am tripping. I forgot this was the pick that the Jets got from Seattle that they traded up with Minnesota with. I wow, my mind is just everywhere right now. First live stream jitters much? But anyway, so again, like I said, Darisaw, you get some offensive line help for Kirk Cousins in Minnesota. Great pick. And they got some extra picks to go along with that. And then if 5 points is meltdown wasn't good, it wasn't amazing enough, we would get a urinating tree meltdown courtesy of the Steelers drafting Najee Harris out of Alabama. Now, don't get me wrong, running back was a need for the Steelers. However, the bigger need was offensive line, and they did not have that. So, yeah. Pittsburgh, what are you doing? I mean, you brought back Ben Roethlisberger, which you shouldn't have. You just, what are you doing, Pittsburgh? You're I, at this rate, they're not making the playoffs next year or this coming season. They're just not. Cleveland's gotten better. Uh, Baltimore's still there. There's no fucking way in hell that Pittsburgh's making the playoffs this coming season. Not with the way that these teams or that the teams around them have gotten better. But we'll see what happens, man. We will see what happens. And as I mentioned before, Jacksonville will grab Travis Etienne at 25, which this pick legitimately makes no sense because you already have you already have James Robinson, who did really good last year. You signed Carlos Hyde, and then you drive Etienne. The only thing with this is that they drafted Etienne to keep him with Trevor Lawrence. That's it. That's all I can think of because otherwise, this pick is a slap in the face for the aforementioned Robinson. Just why? Why? Um, but anyway, so then we get to the 26th pick, and Greg Newsome would go to Cleveland. Love it. Love the pick. He'll be back there with Denzel Ward and the rest of that squad. Cleveland is building something phenomenal. Excuse me. My apologies. Cleveland is building something phenomenal down there. And I'm really impressed with them. I'm really impressed with what they're doing. And I'm interested to see what happens going forward. For that team. I honestly believe they're gonna win the AFC North this year. And depending on what happens with the rest of the league, I think there's a chance Cleveland could at least make the AFC Championship game. I'm not saying Super Bowl because it's still Cleveland, but all things considered, we'll just have to see what happens. And then we get their division rival Baltimore with their own first round pick, grabbing wide receiver Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota, getting some help at wide receiver for Lamar Jackson. I think that's a great move for them. I like that's the funny thing. Like if the Giants were going to take a wide receiver, why not take Bateman instead of Tony? Like, come on. But anyway, Baltimore makes a great pick here, and then we. I wish I had Dom 2K soundboard so I could play the Who soundbite on this one because the Saints reached and they reached heavily to get Peyton Turner, defensive end out of Houston. I mean, Greg Rousseau was still here, Joe Tryon, Jason Owe. You have, even if you didn't want to go on the edge, you still have guys like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, who somehow was falling by this point, still on the board, and yet you draft Turner, who the Saints, they're not making the playoffs next year. They're not. They got to go rebuild mode at this point. Now there were rumors that they were trying to move up into the top 10, which if that was going to happen, they'd probably have to give up somebody like Michael Thomas in a trade like that. Which who knows? He might still get traded. Stephon Gilmore is still in New England, but he might get traded. Um, we'll just have to see what happens on that one. And then we get to Green Bay. So we saw meltdowns from pretty much everybody when it came to the Clickbait Sports Group and all that. Scooter Magruder got pissed with Surtain going to the Broncos, and then of course they ended up drafting they ended up drafting Parsons, so that helped. Um, we saw freaking wow. So Lawrence and Etienne getting drafted by Jackson was the first time a quarterback and running back from the same school got drafted in the first round by the same team. Huh, nice. But as I was saying, we saw freaking 5 Points lose his mind. We saw Hiei lose his mind, although he's not part of Clickbait Sports, but we saw him lose his mind in the dumpster fire stream. Uh, oh my God, the Giants fans' reaction to Kadarius Toney getting picked. They're just like, what the fuck just happened? They're replaying it on ESPN. Oh, Giants. I'm sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry because y'all beat us in the Super Bowl twice, so go fuck yourselves. Oh man. But anyway, so yeah, so we saw Tree lose his shit, and then it was Tom Grossi's turn with the Packers, and who would they take? Eric Stokes, a cornerback out of Georgia. Now, this pick is not as bad as taking fucking Jordan Love in the first round like they did last year, trading up to get him, no less. And if we're being honest here, I mean, they do need cornerback depth, especially, I still baffled me that they brought Kevin King back, but, and now, it's picks like this that show why Aaron Rodgers wants out of Green Bay. He does. And I can't blame him. I mean, this is the shit that he's got to put up with. And I just, I, I honestly, I don't. Green Bay's probably not going to trade him. Let's be honest here. I'd be shocked if they traded him at this rate, especially if they were going to. It would probably have to have been during the first round. Um, but I think the thing is that Rodgers' decision to want out, I think came so late in the process where there was teams were calling. Teams actually had been calling for a while now, but Green Bay's like, no, we're not trading him. And now Rodgers has officially said he wants out. So the question is, will Green Bay grant him that decision? And the thing to keep in mind is San Francisco with Jimmy Garoppolo. Do they decide, or maybe they swap? I mean, it would probably be a swap with San Francisco giving up picks, maybe even another player. It would be a massive trade to say the least, but we'll have to see what happens with that one. And yeah, so I feel bad for Grossi and Packers Nation because because especially either I I think Rodgers is probably still going to play for Green Bay this season. He's not going to hold out. He's just frustrated. Like he's going to have another MVP season. He could have another MVP season like he did this past year, and yet they'll still find a way to fuck shit up because ever since 2010 when they won the Super Bowl, they haven't been back since. They've made the conference finals multiple times, but they've had no fucking luck whatsoever. Um, in that regard. So yeah, again, I'm sorry, Packers Nation. I really am. I feel I kind of feel bad for you guys. I said it back in my reaction to the Bucks beating them to get to the Super Bowl. I felt bad because you guys kind of got screwed at the end. But then again, you guys also screwed yourselves. So hey, these next you guys got to savor these last years with Rodgers as much as you can, and you have to hope and pray to God that Jordan Love is going to pan out. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, number 30, we got Gregory Rousseau heading off to Buffalo. That Buffalo defense, the rich get richer, as they say, and that's exactly what it's looking like for that Buffalo defense. You know, just the likes of the players that they have already. Um, I'm Buffalo. Buffalo is the current king of the NFC. Or sorry, Buffalo is. Oh, they could be the king of the NFCs, but Buffalo is the current king of the AFC East, and I think that's what it's going to be for the next several years, or at least the next few. And quite honestly, I think there's a chance that they will end up back in the. I think they might make it back to the Super Bowl for the first time since the '90s pretty soon. Hell, they could have made it this past season if not for the fact that they had to play the Chiefs. So, um, and then then for the final two picks of the first round, we got Jason Owe heading to Baltimore. This pick, of course, courtesy of Kansas City for trading for Orlando Brown Jr. Um, adding to that defense, that's what Baltimore's looking to do here, and I think they made a really solid move to do that. So then that leaves us with the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They've brought everybody back. They brought in Giovanni Bernard. And going into this draft, and the way the draft was looking, their pick came in so fast it wasn't funny. And I was like, oh, it's gotta be Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. It's gotta be Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. It's gotta be. And it was Joe Tryon out of LSU. Wow, Todd McShay correctly predicted the first 7 picks. God damn. Wow, nice flex there. But anyway, um, I, I, I mean, the rich are going to get richer either way, and that's exactly the case for Tampa. Um, but hey, I think Tryon will still be a great player, but we'll see what happens. Now, now you got to look at who's left at this point. Um, you look at all of you look at all the players that are left standing are left standing that are left to be drafted at this point in time. I mean, bro, how is Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah still on the board? How? How? This is a guy that I mean, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Baron Browning, Azeez Ojulari, Terrence Marshall Jr. is still available. Trevon Moehrig, Landon Dickerson, Dylan Radnews, Liam Eichenberg, Javonte Williams, Levi Onwuzurike, Rondale Moore, Diami Brown, Jalen Mayfield, Cameron McGrone, Javon Holland, Jabril Cox, Wyatt Davis, Christian Barmore, Joseph Asai. Who else we got here? Nick Bolton, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Samuel Cosme, Asante Samuel Jr., Elijah Moore. There's a lot of guys still on the board right now. Um, Amari Rogers, Carlos Basham Jr. Bro, this is gonna be, and hell, even if you're still looking for a quarterback, you've got guys like Kellen Mond still available. Um, you've got Davis Mills, bro. Kyle Trask. He ain't trash. He's Trask. Some dude named Divine Diablo. Damn, that's a nice name. But anyway, so there's a lot of guys to look forward to in rounds 2 and 3, and I'm really interested to see how the rest of this draft is going to pan out, especially with rounds 2 and 3 tonight, and then the rest of the draft on Saturday. Um, as far as I'm concerned, I think the biggest winner out of this draft, honestly, Detroit for getting Sewell because the Bengals fucked up. The Jets for getting Wilson and then making him then moving up to get Vera Tucker. I want to say the Bears moving up for Fields, but I don't know right now. Um, who else? Yeah, I think that's really the three off the top of my head. And then I think the biggest losers are the Giants for picking a wide receiver when they didn't need to, the Steelers for picking a running back when they needed to get offensive line help, and Darisaw was still there. Landon Dickerson was still there. Bruh. The Bengals for not taking Sewell. Let me reiterate, if you did not hear me earlier, turn your volume up, listen loud and clear, as I have voice cracked. Joe Burrow will be Andrew Luck 2.0 at this rate. I am fucking calling it. And I hate to say that because I don't want that to happen. But that's what it's looking like to me. And I think I would also include the Packers as a loser for pissing off Aaron Rodgers to the point where he wants to get out of there. Doesn't surprise me. As far as the first round as a whole, again, we got rumors of teams wanting to move around, and then it didn't really happen early on, but then we did see some movement later on in the draft, so that was good to see. Um, but outside of that, I'm just really, really, really interested to see what's going to happen with rounds 2 and 3. Um, I'm not going to go live for that, and I'm most likely not going to go live Saturday. Um, I'm probably going to be tuning into other streams, depending on who decides to stream all of that, and basically just enjoying the draft and seeing who gets who and what happens going forward. But with all of that being said, hey, for a small channel like mine, I gotta say, I think this stream, my first ever live stream, I think it was a bit of a success, and I cannot wait to do more, or maybe do more in the future. Um, we'll actually hopefully be making a podcast appearance, in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. Once it's officially set, I will make an announcement on the channel, when that time comes. But with all of that being said, to everybody that came in, I had a few people chat to me. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Again, like, subscribe. We're almost at 400 subs, and I'm hoping maybe to stream a little more often here and there. Probably not all the time, but we'll see. And yeah, with all that being said, again, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Tonight was a great night for the draft. And yeah, again, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of your team, what they did. See me? And I'll see you all next time. Peace.